this evening is to inform you of the graduate education programs that we offer. And just to first give you some details and then allow you to ask any questions that you may have at the end. So at the end of the slide presentation, we will open the floor for questions. I am Claudine Davis, the Program Director and Professor of Practice for Education Programs, and I'm going to allow my colleagues to unmute and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bourgeois. I am the Program Manager, Assessment Coordinator, and Academic Advisor for the MED program and for the Graduate Certificate program.
Hi, my name is Ginger Whidden. I am the Clinical Placement Coordinator. So if you require placement into a school, I would be the one to help make that happen. I also help with recruitment into the program. This is me. These are all of the schools that make up Tulane University. So there are a total of 10 schools, and SoPA, which is the School of Professional Advancement, is one. This is a school that started as a continuing studies program, and it now houses many professional certifications in Homeland Security all the way to graphic design that help schedule classes around working people, and it's targeted toward people who want to further their careers. So the School of Professional Advancement physical location is located on the main campus of Tulane University in Richardson Hall. It's very colorful and it's a really great place to visit, even if you haven't, or when you do start, which some of you will be online exclusively. It's always good just to give it a visit. It's a beautiful campus, of course, but Richardson Hall itself is a really bright, colorful, happy place to be. So we hope that you'll come and visit us as we move through. And what we're going to talk about today are the programs and the faculty that teach those programs, most of which have been teachers in the field. We'll talk about your learning experience. We'll talk about what kind of support that you can expect as a student of SoPA and of the education programs specifically, especially when we talk about testing support and online support. All of the resources that are available to Tulane students would, of course, be available to you as well. We'll also talk about affordability and the flexibility of our programs. So these are just a few of our faculty. Amanda Hill is a professor of practice. She is also the executive director of the Cowan Institute for Education Initiatives. She's pretty darn amazing, but I'm going to say that about all of them because everybody that works with us is so great and accomplished. Next we see Juan Carlos Wagner Romero, who is the vice president of the New Orleans Public School on the New Orleans Public School Board. Trung Nguyen is professor of practice education programs. He will undoubtedly teach you no matter which side of the programs that you're on. And Erica Smith, she is also a professor of practice from education programs. She's an academic director. She is STEM all the way. She helps create, I don't know, maybe some of you have had your children involved in GIST and BATS. These are outreach programs to students in the community of New Orleans. My kids have participated in them. They're just amazing programs, free up through, I believe, 5th grade. anyway, they do a lot of experiments, have a lot of fun. It's college students that direct the programs, and I don't know, it's just a great program. So if you have kids and you want them to become interested in STEM, this is a great opportunity for them. These are just a few, like I said, of our faculty. There are many, many more. You will learn from experts. Like I said, most of our faculty were teachers in the field before they became professors. And I think that's hugely important to be able to learn how to, or learn to become a teacher, an educator from educators. I don't know how else you could do it. I don't understand if people don't understand what you're going through and how you, what your job is going to be. It's perplexing to me how they can teach you how to do it, but it happens. But it's best, I think, to be taught by teachers. Hazel Parker is our associate director of education programs and a professor of practice. And she says the teaching and learning environment we create can be one of the most valuable and memorable experiences we model for our students. And I think modeling, of course, any of you that are already in the classroom know exactly what I'm talking about and how people learn so much better when it's being modeled.
Thank you, Ginger. We have 2 new master's degrees programs in education. We have the Master of Arts in Teaching and the Master of Education. So those students who are seeking teaching certification, initial certification, you would choose the Master of Arts in Teaching. And then those who are either certified, or if you're not certified, that's not a requirement, you would choose the Master of Education program. You can get a general Master of Education, or you can also get your Master of Education with a graduate certificate, and those are on the next slide. You can get a graduate certificate in special education, equity-centered education leadership, learning experience design, or teaching English learners. And then you also have the opportunity to seek the Louisiana add-on endorsement if you choose to get the teaching English learners or special education add-on endorsement.
For those who are interested in the MAT program, which is the Master of Arts in Teaching, that leads to initial teaching certification in the state of Louisiana, we have a funding opportunity through a federal grant, which is known as the SEED grant. Once you are accepted into the program, you will have an opportunity to apply for the SEED grant. The SEED grant provides tuition waivers for all MAT courses, which essentially means that Tulane is offering the MAT to you with tuition paid. It does not cover fees, but our fees are very minimal. Just to give you an example of what a student shared with me, they received the SEED grant and their bill for the semester was $130. Which means they only had $130 in fees for the semester, and that's all they were responsible for paying, because the SEED grant took care of the rest of their bill because it covered all tuition. For those who are interested in SEED and accept the SEED grant, it comes with a 3-year commitment in a charter and or public school in Orleans Parish. The SEED grant is very specific to Orleans Parish because of the nature of the grant, and that is where we are seeing in our area the strongest teacher shortage. Yes, we have a teacher shortage everywhere, but within our initial surroundings, we see it most in Orleans Parish. So this is specific to the schools there. The way it works is you apply and get accepted into the MAT program. You complete the full admission and enrollment process. A part of that process includes a $200 deposit, enrollment deposit that has to be paid. Once that enrollment deposit is paid, it prompts the system to create all of your username credentials and everything. And it also provides a prompt to the advisor that you are officially admitted as a student. Once that happens, sorry about that. I think Anne got kicked out. Once that happens, then you're able to, you will receive rather the seed application, and you're able to submit the application for the seed grant. Okay. Usually, well, it depends on when you apply. Usually when you apply for the seed grant, you will hear something within 2 to 3 weeks, but it's guaranteed that you will know whether or not you have received the seed grant before the semester, the current semester ends. Okay. Because I know that is a big deal for some people. For some people, it makes or breaks whether you are going to go through with the program. And we understand that because graduate school is not cheap. It's a commitment all the way around, including financially. And so we know some people want to make the commitment because they want to take advantage of the funding opportunity. So you will know well in advance of the start of the semester whether or not you are a recipient of the seed grant. And I'm going to give a little admissions information toward the end, but I also want to say that with the seed grant, because it offers tuition waivers, we have to work with the accounting department, and the accounting department has a much stricter timeline than we have. So for anyone who is interested in the seed grant and interested in starting this summer, as in summer 2024, then I would encourage you to submit your application, your admission application very, very soon, because the seed grant application, the final date to submit for the summer start is going to be May 1st. For those who are interested in starting in the fall semester, you can go ahead and start your admission application, but you likely will not get the seed application until like the first week in June, because that has the fall seed deadline is going to be different from the summer. The seed applications have to go semester by semester, but the admissions application is rolling consistently. So you can apply for that at any time. Although we have the seed grant for those who are interested, we also have a very strong partnership with Jefferson Parish Schools. If you are a teacher in Jefferson Parish or you're hoping to teach in Jefferson Parish, they have their own tuition reimbursement program, which we work very closely with them with that program. And you would be able to complete all of your paperwork. We provide you with some of the paperwork that JP will ask for in terms of the things that have to be submitted. For those who are not interested in SEED and you're not interested in JP, our MAT tuition is actually charged at the undergraduate rate. If you're interested in MED, that tuition is going to be $1,210 per credit hour, whereas the MAT tuition is $623 per credit hour. For all school employees, there is a 20% tuition discount. If you opt for the seed grant, you do not have to apply for the tuition discount. However, if you are JP or anyone else outside of those programs, then you can definitely apply for the tuition discount. It's important to know that this is a discount that you have to apply for every semester. You will likely get it every semester as long as you're still employed, but it doesn't carry over from one semester to the next. You have to apply every semester. There are also lots of options for financial aid. And if that's something that you're interested in, we would definitely strongly encourage you to contact the Office of Financial Aid to get all of the details regarding the financial aid options that you would qualify for. In terms of SoPA, we have a $1,500 transfer student scholarship that you can apply for. So if you're transferring from another graduate program, then you can apply for that. We also have early enrollment scholarships, which means they will give you a $500 scholarship if you apply, get accepted, and enroll in your courses by a certain day. The SoPA learning experience. So one thing that I would like to note, which Ginger started discussing, you will have access to professors who have extensive experience in the field. All of our professors come with a very diverse background in terms of their experience, and they're eager and willing to share. Our courses are very relevant to the current industry, which means, and I say industry because I'm also including some of the pieces of the MED program, which possibly include people who are in the nonprofit sector, or like other education curriculum companies, as well as those who are in higher ed and K-12. We try to make sure that our students have time to engage with one another, as well as engaging with their professors. The courses are offered online for the MED program, with roughly 4 to 6 synchronous sessions each semester. For the MAT program, those courses are also online for some, and for others, they are hybrid. Most of the hybrid courses are going to be the methods courses, and those require you to come to campus for some class sessions. The number of class sessions for those courses will vary based on the instructor who's teaching the course. So you will have, your schedule will just look kind of different depending on the courses that you are taking. Some students start out with the online courses and then move into methods courses, which requires them to come to campus. It's important to note also that we have 2 summer sessions. Our summer sessions are a little bit different from the other programs at the university, because we cater to people who are working full-time in education. We know that many have summers off, or at least portions of the summer off. And so we offer 2 summer sessions, one in July and one in June. The summers are not required, but I will say those who want to finish their degree program quicker, the summer has to be an option for you if you want to get through it on a faster scale. So for student support, we have lots of different ways that we try to support our students. First, everyone is assigned an academic advisor. The way advising works, once you're admitted, you will schedule an initial meeting with your advisor to get all of the information regarding your program. After that, you will touch base with your advisor at least once each semester, and you and your advisor decide how you would like to communicate, whether it's via phone call, through email, or if you need to schedule a meeting, that's also an option. But in the beginning, you should definitely have a meeting scheduled with your advisor. We have guest speakers who come in from different industries to talk, different sectors of education, to talk to students about the industry, what's available, what's going on, what are some of the things that they have to offer. We also have access to a career center specifically for the students in the School of Professional Advancement. She offers webinars, resume writing sessions, how to use LinkedIn to your benefit. She does like mock interviews, all of that good stuff. So there are lots of resources there as well. I would also like to mention, before Jen tells us about this slide, just mention the admission requirements. The admission requirements is that you must have a 3.0 undergraduate GPA. Um, if you do not have a 3.0 GPA, but there were some circumstances that you care to share with us, there's a spot on the application for that. Also within the application, there is a spot for you to upload a professional letter of reference. So if you don't have a 3.0 GPA, but you are able to provide a reference from one of your school leaders or a supervisor or that sort of thing, I would encourage you to do so because that can help strengthen your application. Make sure that you request official transcripts from every university that you've attended. And in addition to the transcripts, there's also a part where you have to submit a resume and a photo ID. Before your application is marked complete and sent into the review process, you have to have all of those things done. The only thing that you can possibly not have done is the official transcript. So if you have everything except official transcripts, but you have submitted unofficial transcripts, then your application can begin the review process. But just know if you are admitted, you will not be able to complete registration or any of that until we receive those official transcripts from the universities that you've attended. There's also an application fee, which if you registered for this webinar and you're on here, then Anne will have all of your information and will mark your account so that when you complete the application and submit it, you will get the tuition waiver. So you don't have to reach out to her I'm sorry, not the tuition waiver, the application fee waiver. You don't have to reach out to her if you're already on here. Go ahead and submit your application, and that application fee waiver will be activated once you complete that.
Thank you, Claudine. So Claudine had mentioned earlier that there's an early enrollment scholarship. It's $500 for graduate students. You will receive this scholarship if you apply by the deadline and enroll in classes. This is available for your first semester that you apply, when you apply, and for your first semester only. And so the early enrollment scholarship deadline for summer is April 25th. And then for fall is July 15th. So April 25th is coming up. So if you'd like to get that scholarship, you need to get your application in soon. Thank you all so much for attending. If you need to reach out, I am the MED advisor. I'm also the advisor for the graduate certificate program. Torian Mingo is the MAT advisor. Feel free to reach out to him. And we are available right now to answer any questions that you have. Either you can put them in the chat or you can ask them out loud.
How you doing?
Before we start answering questions, I would like to address a question that was placed in the chat a few minutes ago. And it's basically asking about the SEED grant, about someone who's already certified. If you are already certified in the state of Louisiana, you do not qualify for the SEED grant. It's for initial certification only. So I just want to put that out there for anybody who's currently certified in Louisiana. You will not be able to qualify for the SEED grant. Okay, any other questions? Is it Marcia?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you pronounced it right. How y'all doing?
Great, how are you?
Good. I have a question. I know you were saying about they waived the $50 fee for once you start the application. I mean once you start on your application, but I started mine and I submitted, but I haven't paid the $50 fee. I mean, will this still apply to me, or will I have to start a whole new application?
No, don't start a new application. Anne has your information.
Okay.
Anne is our colleague who works directly in the admissions office. And after the webinar is over, give her, I would normally say give her 24 hours, but she's actually on a recruiting trip. So give her probably until like the end of the day, Monday or so, to get these processed. And then you should see your $50 application fee waived. Okay.
Okay,
If
thank
you
you.
see that by let's say Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, then go ahead and reach out to Ann in admissions and she'll take care of it. But it usually doesn't take her that long. She just needs some time to get it processed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I see a few questions in the chat. Marcia, Ann said she'll have it waived by noon tomorrow. Let's see. Can applicants reapply for the seed grant if they are denied during the summer application process? The answer is yes, you can apply. It's also important to note that once you apply and accept the seed grant, you do not have to reapply every semester. Your acceptance is good as you continue to work through the program, as long as you continue to meet the requirements of the seed grant. And part of those requirements are also required for the program, which means you have to maintain a BR better in every course and a 3.0 GPA each semester and overall. Are they still offering the stipends for teachers who work in public schools now? So the stipends are a part of the residency and the commitment process. I cannot accurately answer that question right now, because for those who haven't started yet, you are going to start and you won't enter residency before the seed grant expires. And if that happens, then you will not qualify for the stipend. However, if you are accepted and offered the seed grant, Tulane will honor the commitment of the tuition waiver until you finish the program, as long as you don't sit out for an extensive amount of time. So the seed grant was a 3-year grant. We're hoping to get an extension. However, grant extensions are not guaranteed. So we don't want to give a false sense that we will receive an extension. If the extension is received, then there is a much better chance that you would qualify for the stipend also. But the stipends do not start until you hit residency. And again, anyone who has not applied yet, it's a very slim chance that you will begin residency before the initial grant deadline, for the initial deadline for the grant to end. Let's see.
I think the next question is about
if you
Jefferson
are-
Parish.
Yeah, if you work at a Jefferson Parish school, you get 20% off of your tuition. But I would encourage you to contact HR in Jefferson Parish to get all of the details regarding the tuition reimbursement process. There is actually a tuition reimbursement meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and we'll also be there if you want to stop by and ask questions that are specific to your situation. But the courses, so going back to the tuition with the JP question, the tuition for MAT is $623 per credit hour, which is roughly $1,800. A little over, of course, but it's roughly $1,800. Once you apply and receive your 20% tuition discount, it takes your tuition just below $1,500. The Jefferson Parish allotment is $1,500 per 3-hour course per semester. And you're allowed to take 2 courses a semester with Jefferson Parish. So essentially they will give you they will approve of up to 2 courses, up to $3,000 for tuition. But if you apply for that 20% tuition discount, then the JP allotment will cover all of your tuition. You may have a balance with the fees, but it will cover all of your tuition. I believe it's Kiara, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly.
No, ma'am, you said it correctly.
Okay. Is it a
And
generic question about your transcript? I don't want you to say too much personal information on, but if it's generic, go for it.
Sure. So my question is about like the process of getting my transcript sent in. I don't know if I'm supposed to contact my university or if when I submitted my application, it's already in communication, but I just need to know if it's a step that I need to take that I wasn't aware of.
Gotcha. So if you've already requested your transcript through the university, it's a good chance that admissions already has it, as long as they send it to SoPA admissions. So sometimes the School of Professional Advancement doesn't receive it, but it goes to the Tulane College admissions office. So if it's been a while, just reach out to our admissions office to see if they've received it, or you probably can check in your application portal. Look in there and see if it says that your official transcript has been processed. If it hasn't, reach out to admissions to see if they've received it. If they have not, contact your university and they'll be able to tell you if it wasn't processed or if it was sent to Tulane admissions office. If it was sent there, then Hope in admissions can try to get it from them. If not, then hopefully they can tell you like what's going on in terms of processing your transcript. But
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. If you've already requested it from them, there's a good chance that that SoPA has it.
I just checked in Slate and it looks like your transcript was received by SoPA.
Thank you. Okay.
How does the tuition work for Orleans Parish? The offer in my email said it was free. So the way it works is you have to apply for admissions. Once you apply for admission, you have to apply for the seed grant. That's the only way to be considered for the tuition waiver, is to apply for the seed grant. So the seed grant is what makes the tuition free. It's not just automatically free because you apply to the program. So you have to apply for the seed grant. The seed grant application it's pretty reasonable in length. There is a short application part, and then there's a 500-word essay that you have to complete. So it's not a lengthy application, but there is an application process and you have to submit. And again, if you want to start this summer, those seed applications have to be submitted before May 1st. Otherwise, that won't give us enough time to get through the accounting deadline. And although there are some times where we can be flexible with dates, we cannot be flexible with the date for accounting. So if you don't get your seed application in on time, then either you will have to defer your enrollment to the fall semester, or you would have to look at other options for taking care of your tuition. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Ginger. I didn't know you put something in there already. Does the seed grant only apply to the MAT program? Yes, it only applies to MAT. The only other way you would qualify for seed is if you were seeking a bachelor's degree with certification. But it's important to note that the seed grant will only pay for the courses that are required for certification. So let's just say you're a transfer student, a transfer undergraduate student, and you transfer some hours in. Let's just say you transfer 40 hours in. Then you have all of the coursework that's required for the rest of your degree requirements. And then you have the 33 hours or 36 hours that are required for the certification part. The seed grant will only pay for those 33 to 36 hours required for certification. So the other courses that will be required for your bachelor degree plan, you will have to seek other scholarships through SoPA or other financial aid options to take care of the tuition. But it does, I'm sorry, the seed grant does not apply to the MED program. The deadline for the fall has not been set yet for the seed grant because we get that information from accounting every semester. So right now we know what accounting's deadline is, and we have set our deadline like 3 days before the accounting deadline so that we have enough time to process all seed applications, notify those recipients, and get the commitment letter signed before we submit everything to accounting. I will say though, if I had to guess a seed deadline for the fall semester, it will likely be somewhere around July 1st, possibly July 10th to 15th at the latest. It's not gonna go beyond July 15th for sure, because they usually give us a deadline that's a month, maybe a little more than a month before the semester starts. So that's why I encouraged anyone who's interested in fall to go ahead and start your admission application so you can have that done, and you'll have enough time to submit your seed application. You're welcome. Any other questions? I believe I got all of the questions in the chat. Jen or Ginger, if I didn't, please let me know. Are there any other questions outside of the chat?
There was a question about the seed acceptance rate. I don't know if we know that.
I do not have, I don't have that number in front of me. If I had to guess, I would say somewhere between 86 and 90%. So it depends on the application, but it also depends on how many more spots we have available for seed. So we were given a specific number of seed spots, so to speak. That number did increase, so we were able to offer it to more students. But the acceptance rate for seed is, I would say, is pretty high. But you definitely have to get everything in before the deadline. And again, if you're interested, I encourage you to apply, because you will know whether or not you receive the award for seed before the semester starts. So that gives you time, you know, to make the decision, if this is a decision that you're making solely if you can get it funded, which is completely understandable. Okay, if there are no more questions, we thank you all for joining us this evening. My email was not on the screen, but just in case you have additional questions, you can reach me at cdavis57@tulane.edu. And if you have questions, reach out. If I can't help you, I'll try to direct you to the office who can. And again, for those transcripts, make sure you send it to the SoPA admissions office, which it'll give you that information within the application process. So you'll see it there, but just make sure when you request, you don't send it to Newcomb Tulane, because it will take longer for SoPA admissions to get your transcripts. If you don't have any other questions, thank you again for joining us. I believe it's Tamika. Tamika, it's C Davis 57. If you don't have any additional questions, thank you for joining us and have a great evening. We look forward to hearing from some of you all.
Thank you. Good night.